What is up, you guys? Happy Tuesday. Just tweeting this out. Let people hop in real quick. Tuesday. So today we're going to be talking about the perpetuals, the first ever perpetual hex staking ladder. I'm just going to keep making videos. I mean, we've launched some amazing assets, and I just want to put out more information, hopefully some alpha for you guys to be able to utilize these tools to get what you want in life through Hex. At least I got a few people in. What's up, Hex Hodl? How's it going, man? Degen, Dougie, how's it going? So I thought today we'd start out just going over what a Hex staking ladder is. And I'm going to let one of my favorite streamers explain that, Crypto Coffee. His explanation is probably the best I've seen. And then we will dive into Maximus staking ladder, how to utilize Maximus assets as a staking ladder, and talk about kind of the benefits of utilizing Maximus versus utilizing native stakes as your staking ladder. A lot of optionality with Maximus, and you know, it's funny, like you'll see when we get to that point, but the optionality that Maximus offers, it almost offsets the idea of a staking ladder. But I'll share with you guys why this paradigm of a staking ladder is very beneficial when you're utilizing Hex and Hex staking. So let's hop right in. Looks like we got a few more people. Johan, what's up, man? Fellas Crypto, good to see you. Let me go ahead and share. Let me cut the music. Let me cut the flamingosis. Let me pull up this video. So again, this is Crypto Coffee. If you guys don't already subscribe, if someone wants to drop a link to his YouTube, go subscribe. He's putting out so much content all the time. I've learned a lot from him. But his explanation of a staking ladder is probably the best I've seen. So it'll be a good baseline to go off of rather than me re-explaining it. So let me just make sure the volume's on. Actually, let me do this again. Sorry, 1 second. Stop screen, present, share screen, Chrome. Okay, share tab audio. Perfect. All right. So this is Crypto Coffee explaining a staking ladder.
So let's get right into it. Now, what is a stake?
Why is that happening? Wait, oh, sorry, 1 second. Let me change this. I don't want you guys to get an echo. Okay.
Secret to earning tons of money with Hex, okay? So let's get right into it. Now, what is a staking ladder? Well, basically, this mimics a real CD ladder, which is a strategy used in the real world where essentially you don't just stake everything in Hex all in one stake. You don't just lock up all your coins for a single day. You make several stakes along the way, right? So you choose a time horizon of, let's say, 5 years, and you stake at various intervals in multiple time frames. So what this really does is it gives you the flexibility to choose time periods that fit your unique lifestyle wherever you're at in life. Now, This could be months, quarters, years. You can even set stakes to expire on holidays, birthdays, life events. If you're new here, in Hex, you get to choose your own terms in terms of the number of days that you want to lock up your money. And remember, locking up and staking is really just the same thing. So when I say locking or staking, I'm talking about the same thing. Now, I don't ever really recommend going lower than months in terms of your stakes, because if you're only staking for a couple of days or even a couple of weeks, you're not going to see the outsized returns that a lot of the OG hexagons are seeing, right? The real returns come with delayed gratification, because not only do you get a crazy amount of compounding interest over time, but you get any price appreciation along the way. So that's why when it comes to staking, personally, I really prefer and recommend months, quarters, years, and you can even have fun with it. And let's say you want to make some stakes expiring on Christmas, every Christmas for the next 10 years, or every one of your kids' birthdays. Or if you're saving up for, a wedding ring or that big vacation or that new car, you can set dates in your mind and actually put your money to work while you're waiting for that date to arrive. So it's really cool. Now, the premise of the staking ladder system is really simple. It's essentially that when you stake, that's your principal balance, right? That's your principal amount. So if I stake 1,000 hex, my principal is 1,000. And when I unstake my hex, I'll have all the principal plus some amount of interest, right? And really the concept is so simple. It's just you sell the interest that you made and you restake the principal out into the future again, so that you never really give away your precious hex, because your hex has the ability to make more money for you. Why would you want to give away what's essentially your money printing machine, right? Now, a staking ladder ensures that on every time interval that you set, let's say it's biannually, so every 6 months, it ensures that you always have some money coming out. So you're always able to scrape the interest off the top, sell the interest, and then restake the principal a long ways away in the future. And we'll talk about why it's good to stake longer and instead of shorter, okay? But again, the profit that you make when your stake is over is not only equal to the principal plus the interest, right? But it's actually equal to any price appreciation in US dollar value along the way. I mean, let's not beat around the bush, guys. The USD price appreciation, or GBP, or whatever currency is in your jurisdiction, is really what we're after here. So yeah, Hex is great. We would love Hex to be mainstream and adopted worldwide. But eventually, if we want to cash out, we need to cash out in our country's currency, right? So the profit that you make is, again, the principal, the interest, and the price appreciation, because as we know, cryptocurrencies are the highest appreciating asset class known to mankind. Not only the highest appreciating asset, but the fastest appreciating asset too. Bitcoin went from a penny to $50,000 in 10 years. You're not going to find returns like that in the traditional system anywhere. And Hex is less than 2 years old right now. So, imagine buying Bitcoin when it was less than 2 years old, right? Anyway, moving forward, like I mentioned earlier, I really prefer and recommend this as a months and years game. Months and years are way better than days and weeks. And that's because in Hex, longer pays better. And when we talk about the longer pays better bonus, that literally means every additional period of time, every additional day that you stake, you're getting a bonus for that. And you're actually getting a higher interest rate for locking in a longer number of days.
All right, so I feel like that was a very, very good intro into what a hex staking ladder is, and kind of gives you a baseline understanding of how to utilize them. It's funny. So when we launched Maximus, I actually wrote a blog post about Maximus versus a staking ladder, because in my mind, like with a staking ladder, the hardest part is like when you're trying to plan your staking ladder, it's like you kind of pick these arbitrary times when you think you'll want your money back, like when it's not locked. And with Maximus, with Maxi, it's a 15-year stake, completely liquid, and so you can earn as long as you want, and sell at any time, right? I had to kind of walk that back, because the thing with these tokens and these stakes being liquid is there is no guarantee of a premium, and that premium is essentially, selling. If Maxi's at a premium, you're selling it, you're essentially locking in your gains, right? Essentially the same as if you were getting hex, or your hex stake was ending and you're selling maxi, you're increasing your value. But in talking with Dipcatcher, I kind of had to walk that thinking back, because the thing about that is there is no guarantee of a premium in the future with these stake pools. And I encourage people to not plan their their portfolio, their staking strategy around the expectation of a future premium, because there is no guarantee of that. It could be in a discount up until the end of the stake. That's a reality. With the perpetuals launched, they've been at a discount since launch. Not a steep discount. It's only been, I think, 10% discount has been the most. But that is a very good proof point of why you should be considering a staking ladder over, focusing on the liquidity aspect of these pool tokens. So with that being said, what I wanted to talk today about is really diving in on the perpetuals specifically. So when I say perpetuals, Base, Trio, Lucky, and Deci, 4 stake pools of different lengths. Base is a 1 year, Trio is a 3-year stake, Lucky is a 7-year, and Deci is a 10-year stake. And they're called the perpetuals because they are the first auto compounding perpetual hex stakes, which means when one of those stakes ends, there is a period of time, we call it the reload phase. And then after that reload phase, the hex in that smart contract is then restaked. So it perpetually grows period over period, each one of those stakes. So for example, with Base is a 1-year stake. So when the Base stake ends, there's a 2-week period between when you have the ability to, you have 3 options. You can either burn your Base tokens and get your hex principal plus earned yield for whatever amount you burn. You can leave your hex in the pool, and that is auto restaked, or you can mint more Base tokens and grow your position in that pool during the mint phase. And once that period ends, the hex in the smart contract is then restaked for another 1-year period for Base. For Trio, it's a 3-year period stake, and Lucky's a 7-year, Deci's a 10-year. So let me go ahead and share a pretty good graphic that kind of gives them a better, let me see, kind of a visual representation of what we're talking about right now. Let me see, present window. Just make sure you guys can see that. Awesome. So this gives you kind of a visual of what those periods look like. So you'll see Base is a 1-year stake. So every year that stake is ending. With Trio, it's every 3 years, Lucky every 7, Deci every 10. So what you can do with these pools is utilize them as a staking, a hex staking ladder. So for Base, as your short term, every year you could be locking in gains. And I like how what Crypto Coffee was talking about with what I would call like scraping or skimming, where you can leave your principal in and just scrape off the earned yield every time that period ends. And you can do that with each one of these. What's really cool with this, and why I think it's kind of a superior strategy than doing a native hex staking ladder, is that these tokens are liquid. So I did mention that I don't think you should depend on there being a premium, but let's say there's a bull market in 2024. Regardless of what you're holding, if you want to lock in any gains at that time, because of the price appreciation of hex, you can sell those tokens, but you also can redeem yield in the year of 2024 for Base, right? If the bull market's going on in 2025, you have yield ending, you have a stake ending, so you can redeem hex from that stake pool with your trio tokens. So there's a lot of optionality with this that with the traditional hex staking ladder you don't have. For one, it's auto compounding. So if you were to forget about your base tokens and the stake ends in 2023, it's auto restaked for another year. And so you don't have to worry about ending that stake to get that yield. It will be put to work again for another year. Having that liquidity aspect is a huge plus, because when you stake native, your hex is locked. You can't touch it, and you will get a penalty if you end early. With these, you can sell at any time when you need to. So again, I think applying the frame of a hex staking ladder was kind of the design of these tokens. And as you can see, you have paydays every year if you're in base. And then you have obviously bigger pays or longer pays better with the other pools. So if you have T shares in the DESI stake, you'll be earning yield for 10 years. Let me pull up. I'm going to pull up the home tab. So I'm pulling up hexfire.io. There's a great tab for Maximus DAO that I love to check out. And one thing I wanted to just highlight was you can see when these stakes are ending. So Maximus is not a perpetual. It is a one-time stake. And so when that stake ends, it's just an endless redemption phase. It doesn't automatically roll over. But DESI, Lucky, Trio, and Base are perpetuals. So you can see the end date when these stakes end. You can also see the remaining days for each of these stakes. So there's only 271 days left in the base stake. It's a 1-year stake. So you can utilize this tool to kind of see how to plan out your staking strategy and know when those stakes are ending, and plan accordingly. So yeah, it's like I was talking about earlier, it kind of, the fact that these are liquid tokens, it's like the necessity for a staking ladder it's kind of mute, because the reason people use staking ladders today is to have the optionality to have hex stakes ending at certain intervals, so that you have liquid hex to sell or to maybe restake. And so people kind of pick arbitrary timeframes, whether it's, as Crypto Coffee talked about, months or years or birthdays. With these are set in stone, obviously, but there is that added liquidity aspect, which I think adds a lot of value and gives you more optionality while still earning trustless yield. The biggest thing I want to encourage people, though, again, don't view the liquidity aspect as the prime value proposition of these assets. The prime value proposition is truly trustless hex yield. That's the only thing that you can guarantee you're going to get. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a premium. So you can utilize these. Really think about something I encourage people I talk about in our community is think about like what you want your life to be in 1 year, in 3 years, in 7 years, in 10 years, and then work backwards onto how you're going to invest and acquire more yield-bearing assets to achieve those goals. So, with New Year's just happening, I think it's a really good time to sit down and realign on what you want from crypto. I think the people that, rather than being subject to everything that's going on in the market and trying to, get rich quick, or, just looking for the next pump, with Hex, you can really step back and build out a financial strategy that's long-term and start planning. Like, take your plan for your life and build your financial strategy around that, versus just trying to increase day by day and making flips. And like, if you can build out your baseline investment strategy more long term with Hex, you're always moving forward because you're earning trustless yield. Whereas with, like, if you're playing meme coins constantly, there's no guarantee that you're moving forward, and you're likely going to get wrecked and lose and be stepping backwards. So I just encourage people to get your baseline first, and once you have that, then you have some more freedom to play around with the games that a lot of people play. Let's see, what else did I have to pull up? Let's see. Yeah, so feel free to drop any questions if you have any. I'm here to answer anything. Really just wanted to highlight the perpetuals. I think they're really, really great tools. And right now it's like they're at a discount. So it's a really, really good time to, again, create your financial strategy, what you want, and then execute on that through buying these pool tokens. I went over this. Let me pull this up. Let me just check if anyone's commenting. Hey guys, me Rewind Gang. Will you and Dipcatcher also make some pooled staking for Zen? No plans to. What is the estimated T-share rate when they end? That's a good question. I think there's a page for that. So, let's see. So base ends 10-1. Let's see. I wish this had a search feature so I could search for it. Maybe it's just under charts. Okay, estimate rate. Here we go. So 10-1. Q1 2023. So 29.5 for bait. Or no, that's 10.3. 10.1. So 10.1. And I believe that's an increase in 4 without OA. So new share rate 29.5K, and I believe, oh shit, am I sharing my screen right now? Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share. And I need some music, dude. I hate just talking to myself with nothing in the background. Okay, so why is it not highlighting now? So we're right here. Or no, why is it pointing right there? It was highlighting before. Yeah, so I mean, I was highlighting before. Oh, here we go. So this is when the base stake is ending, and the estimated new share rate is 29.5K. Right now it's 25.4. Everything Hex Huddle says everything is on a discount, so set y'all's limit orders may drop lower even. Yeah, it could. I have no idea where the hex bottom's going to be, but you know, maybe our next video will be about dollar cost averaging. I think that is such a vital tool, especially for the gladiators, because to me, the real value of the instant liquidity of these pool tokens is not to sell, although that is an option. Truly, it's to grow your position in these stakes over time. With a typical hex staking ladder, or just utilizing native hex stakes, every time you want to increase your T-shares, you have to create another hex stake. So as an ongoing savings tool, these pool tokens are really the easiest way, and you don't have to increase your managerial duty of managing more hex stakes every time you want to get more T-shares. You can just buy pool tokens. Get some, what's up, man? I'm in all the perps and buying Maxi every day, getting in. Good work, man. That's the way to do it. I like to use Dex Guru for limit orders instead of Matcha. Better chart also. I've never used Dex Guru. I'll have to check it out. May drop, may not. Yeah, I mean that's the market. Use the more conservative model. Let's see. I don't know how to change the. Unless there's another model. Yeah, I don't see another model. If the macro drops, we all drop, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I agree. Everyone's putting a lot of pressure on like micro things going on in our ecosystem, like pointing to reasons why the hex price is dropping. And while we do have some big sellers locking in gains, even them, they're probably influenced by what's going on a macro level, and just trying to, stay afloat. And they're probably still way up from their buy-in, so it makes sense for them to sell, I guess, if they think the price is going to go down. But yeah, I think macro is so much more impactful than anything going on in our ecosystem. A year of bear is still possible, so time to accumulate. Absolutely, that's how I'm planning. Much better to be surprised. I think I tweeted this out. Much better to be surprised by the start of the bull than to plan on it happening and it not happening. Yep. If the perps are at a discount, better go for those. Yeah. The model used was right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty fired up that we got a lot of hex staked for a long time. With base, every year we're going to have to buy more T-shares at a higher rate, whereas with the longer stakes, we're locked in for we have a locked in share rate that's going to become very valuable, as you can see with the chart. So but yeah, I mean, I'm excited for base. Let's see, when is it ending? Yeah, so I mean 10-1. I believe it's 10-1 or 10-2. I don't know if this is right. I think it's right. 10-1. I'm trying to think when we started our stake. And it's a 3. Oh yeah, and it's not a 365 stake, it's 369. So a little over a year. But yeah, that first perpetual redemption phase is going to be awesome. To see how the market prices that in as we approach that in stake, because there may be a group of people that try to sell their pool tokens right before to kind of lock in those gains might open up some opportunity to snag more base at a discount and then, you know, redeem. And then there's going to be obviously a wave of people that are going to be minting more base, and we'll be running that like a launch, as if it's a new launch, trying to grow that stake, because it's at 100 million hex right now, and I think our goal, like our baseline goal, should be to get that over 150 million. But I'll be shooting for 500 million at least to grow that and get more T-shares on base. Maxing the perps are gas fee savers on ETH regardless of hex, even without pulls. Yeah, agreed. That was something I didn't mention. You know, one consideration when making your native hex staking ladder is gas fees. And I think Crypto Coffee mentioned that you're not going to see as much return if you're doing like monthly stake, you know, like weekly stakes. But also with those shorter stakes, you're paying a gas fee every time you're ending and starting that stake. And for a lot of people, that fee could be pretty detrimental to their returns, because you should just think of that as a cost to your returns. So with these staking ladders, most people won't pay in-stake gas fees. It's consolidated to one in-stake gas fee, end and start stake gas fee. So most won't pay, which is huge for a lot of small stakers. What percent principal growth rate does base need to keep same number T-shares? It's a good question. How would I calculate that? Let's see. I'll pull up my Excel. So let me see. Let me pull up that chart again. Maybe I'll just share my entire screen. Dipcare said current principal plus estimated total yield plus new share rate, or which should equal current base T-shares. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that math another time. I'm like, you really put it on the spot. They're having to do math. Yeah, Dip, you do the math, dude. Dip, come on stream. Point Blank says, can you talk about Team and why someone would want to DCA into it? Yeah, so Team is currently in the middle of its first 1-year stake period. So I actually don't know how much is liquid compared to how much is still staked. I need to run the numbers on that. But right now I feel like is a really good time because, one, I think a lot of people are sleeping on team because this first year is probably going to be the lowest rewards year. So, it only grows from here, especially, going into year 3 where you have base, trio, and the Maxi 369 rebate ending. So that year, going into that year or before that year starts, there's going to be huge demand for team, at least in theory, in order to capture that year 3 rewards. So, right now, I think a lot of people are kind of short-sighted in this bear market. They're not thinking how big, they're not thinking of team rewards as a multi-year reward system. They're kind of thinking about like this first year or, year 2. And in this first year, it's just base and then the polyhedron, the hedron that it earned from poly in years 1 and 2. So for these 2 years, it's probably not the most exciting rewards years. And because of that, I think a lot of people are like looking at team, and how much it'll earn in those 2 years. But if you're looking further into the future, you can, I don't know, take advantage of what's coming versus, the short-term rewards. And just preparing for year 2 staking as well. On Hexfire, that number is underestimated payout. Nice. So how many T-shares does get? 112. What was it, 29K? $29.5. I think 3.7K. Yeah, I think so. Longer phase better is 20%. Bigger phase better is 7.4. I did have a calculator on. Oh wait, do I still have that? I don't think I do. I had an Excel to calculate that. A new song. Yeah, so I hope that the beginning of this video helped you guys, or just kind of explained how you could utilize the perpetuals as your hex staking ladder. Maxi can definitely be a part of that. Again, it's not a perpetual, but it is kind of a great long-term. It's kind of like your gold of your staking strategy as a max link stake. And you know, with the shorter stakes, you can utilize them more for shorter term trustless yield engines. FM Alexander, how's it going, man? Poly 2, where are you? Poly 2 is definitely there's definitely possibility for a Poly 2. I mean, the baseline contract's already written and audited. The one change that, you know, as far as, you know, the tokenization of the HSIs has already been fixed, so we could launch it. But because we don't have like a time constraint anymore, we are actually thinking about ways we could even improve it and maybe have some you know, just a different strategy from Poly, where definitely more focused on HSIs, and then maybe some element of recycling and compounding the ICOSA yield. So it's definitely a possibility. Right now, our biggest focus is definitely the dashboard. Now that the holidays are over, we're just getting refocused back on building, and you know, the dashboard is definitely top of mind right now. We want to get that out. See what's up? This is a good way to use perpetuals and maxi. Saving gas is not a crime. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing too, is like, if you have a hex staking ladder, you know, typically around bull markets, gas fees get crazy. So, you know, a lot of people talk about how max link stake and stake gas fees are obviously the most painful, the biggest. But even with these shorter stakes, if you're in the middle of a bull market, to end that, it might still be crazy and eat a lot of your yield up trying to end that, or might even be infeasible depending on the size of your stake. So why not just not pay a gas fee? For a lot of people, that's a huge deal. Obviously, for the bigger whales, gas fees aren't as big of a problem, but savvy investors understand the value of liquidity, and you know, liquid staking with Maximus stake pools gives you a lot of optionality outside of just a staking ladder too. So I haven't really checked the price. Let's see how they're doing. Max is looking great. Does log do anything? Yeah, so what I'm liking about Maxi is, like, Maxi took the elevator up. There wasn't any support here. We built 0 support on the way up. Still went up. Obviously came back down with people locking in gains. But now we're in this range, kind of in the middle of where we first pumped. So we're building a lot of support right here around, 1.3, which is funny because that's the backing value of Maxi right now. So we've kind of set a new floor. Like it's good to see that we've kind of set a new floor on the backing value. Now that one Maxi is worth 1.3 hex, we're showing pretty strong support. And I still don't think we've ever dipped. What's the low on this? 1.39, 1.32. Aside from this, no, I don't think. What's the low here? 1.7. I don't think Maxi's yet to be at a discount over NAV, which is pretty wild. So Maxi's still holding strong. Good liquidity. Let's check out Deci. Price in Hex. 0.99 right now. Let's see what Deci is worth. Its backing value. So I'll show you guys how I get the backing value. Let me see. So Deci. So what I'll do is I'll grab what do I want to do here? Wait, do I want backing value or yeah. Is this the same? Okay, honestly, go.hex.com changes so much. Because I just grabbed this yesterday. And it was at 620. And now it's showing 611. That's crazy, but I'll just use the 611, I guess. 611, 213, 6.25. So currently backed by 1.07 hex. And market price is 0.99. So currently at a 7.8% discount. Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't really look into like the premium discount right now. We're just in such a sideways market that I don't even know it. Like, it's just showing like very little. I mean, the volume right now. It'll be really interesting to see what'll happen in a real hex bull run. Imagine if again, I have no expectations that there will be a bull run next year, but imagine if Hex just takes off and like how will base, for example, how will that premium discount react to that price? Obviously, so something to consider with these assets is like when you're looking at the USDC or USD price, that's very dependent on Hex and Hex's price, especially in these pairs. So, you know, I'm really looking at more on the Hex, the price in Hex. Let's see. Let's check out Lucky's. Six, 8, 2, 6, 2. So Lucky's backed by 1.05. And its current price is this price in Hex. So it's at a 4.7% discount. Screw it. Let's just do all of them since we're doing it. So I'm using this plugin called Custom Hex that allows you to look at any address. This is Maxi, Desi, Lucky, Trio. So I have all the pools addresses saved in here, so I can just easily grab. People get freaked out. I say this every time I do this because like people get freaked out when they see end stake, but you can't. It wouldn't allow you. You would just waste gas if you tried to end these stakes. I have 8, 9, 8, 1, 7, 9, 3. And Trio's price. So that's only at a 0.2% discount. And base. Why is base not showing? Okay, let's grab this price. And then so yeah, guys, anytime I'm making those stats tweets, this is what I'm having to do. And base is actually at a 2.3% premium. Nice. It'd be awesome if we eventually built some form of an R bot on these. No idea how we would do it, but I don't know. It's kind of nice to have them fluctuate around, you know, their backing value. It's cool to see how much hex these have earned. Let's see. Count. This is better. And then let's just see, like, oh, come on, damn it. I swear it said tab. The hell? Oh, no, I fucked this up. Wait. God damn it. I gotta grab the supply for... I fucked that up. I put it in the wrong one. Did I do that for all? No. I'm an idiot. Token, either can base. I'm an idiot. Okay. So base is actually at a small discount too. Crazy how much more yield Desi has earned, but you know, longer pays better, shorter pays sooner. Dipcatch said price charts look like mountain ranges, and it's for the same reason. Yeah, that's crazy. I display all this data on the site, maybe by tonight. Oh, I'll display. Oh, awesome. Dude, I cannot wait for the freaking... The dashboard's going to be sick. Where can we see our base stakes? Are you talking about diamond hands, or are you just talking about your base holdings? Yeah, we do need to do a video soon on diamond hands. Haven't checked the price of Hex in a while either. Let's see. Actually, I think I just checked yesterday, but check it out. Question for you guys. Do you guys like streams better, or do you like edited videos better, where it's like, you know, cut up and it's just about like a single topic, like shorter video? So same thing with Hex chart. I'm happy we're building a bunch of support and some new ranges that we didn't have on the way up. I mean, I guess you could say we did have some at 3 or around 3, but damn, it was at 3 for so long. Like yeah, we kind of had some right here. Let's see. Yeah, kind of right there. I mean, this 3 cent is solid now. Whenever it's going to be hard to break through upwards. Where are we going if we go down from here? Maybe kind of hit right here. Maybe that's what it should be. Yeah, we're in kind of an open range right now. I don't know where we're gonna end up. The RSI is super low. So no real signs there. Why am I still on this? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's best to plan for continuing to go down. And honestly, I mean, I'm not a trader. Like I do love to look at charts. Like charts are the biggest source of truth. Like it's amazing to me that, you know, the result of so many people taking action results in a single price that we get to look at and observe. And I like, that's why I love the Maximus stake pools, because, you know, for the first time, we're getting to see a market price hex stakes over time. You know, Maxi's obviously been kind of the most interesting, but there was a lot of like psychology around, you know, people missing out on the mint phase and then hopping in. Whereas the other ones, I think a lot more people hopped in during mint phase, so there wasn't as much buy demand. It's kind of interesting to think about, like with, you know, with Pulse Chain, because the sacrifices were so big. I'm wondering, I mean, it's been so long though. Like what I think about is like, it could have that same effect where people kind of already put their money into the sacrifice that they may have used to buy out the gate. But I think that would have been more of a factor if Pulse Chain launched, you know, maybe that same year. But now that it's been such a long time, people may have more capital to invest in a Pulse Chain out the gate. But at the same time, it's like now we've gone through a bear market. If we launch tomorrow, like, you know, people are struggling. So there's a lot of factors to think about, but it is fun to consider. I don't know. Dipkish says, I watch way more edited videos than streams. I'm trying to think what I do. I enjoy streams, but when I want to learn something specifically, I like edited videos. Kind of what I want to do, what I like kind of realized like yesterday, or actually, I shot the stream yesterday and then I edited the video today and took like what I was talking about yesterday with Hex T-shares and Maximus T-share pricing, and I chopped it up and made an edited video. So maybe I'll start doing that more often because it didn't take too much time. So I don't know. I think I could, like the past 2 days, I've just kind of had an idea of what I want to make a video, and then just hopped on. I hope they've been clear enough. Today was like, I feel like I was like not as like, I feel like it's still good. I'll chop it up so it sounds better, but I may do a little more scripted, but we'll see. Hex HODL, I like looking at the full Hex chart from December 2019 Uniswap V1. I can never know which, like, is this V1 or is this? I never know if it's V1. But yeah, I like looking at full chart too. Like my thing though is like, you know, this was over 2 years ago. It's like, are these supports back here still relevant? And I think we've seen a little bit of it. Let's see. Yeah, we've seen some like supports play a factor. But yeah, this chart fucking sucks back here. If you have a link to a better chart, let me know. Just drop it. But yeah, I'm not the most advanced TA. I basically just use horizontal lines, a little bit of RSI to see if there's trends, if there's a trend, and then Bollinger Bands are good. And it's rather about the liquidity in V3 also. Yeah, I created a chart where I overlaid the liquidity onto the price chart, which I think would be a really, like, it's not built yet where it would just display, like I'm still having to screenshot it and overlay it and match up the prices. But yeah, I agree. I think that's such a important piece of price that needs to be shown on the chart. TA is astrology. It really is. But like the thing about it, I mean, I think about that all the time because there's so much around TA that, you know, just the shapes and like what people are like the Fibonacci's and all, like, it's funny because I think in reality, the reason those things end up playing out is because everyone's using the same tools, or they're looking at the same way. Like for me, like, you know, these horizontal lines, I think a lot of people are looking at these supports and thinking about it the same way. So because everyone's looking at it, it like is kind of truth, and it ends up, you know, playing out that way. Invert the pair in settings. I never know how to invert. Here, just turn your head. Just flip over. Yeah, I never know how to invert it. Instant order placements? What the hell? We should make more 10-minute scripted edited content. Yeah, I think I'm going to start doing that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Just getting back in the groove of making videos again since the holidays. So streaming's been good to like warm up. And so, but yeah, I can, that'd be a good idea. The distribution of liquidity, that is important. Yeah. They like never back to STA and just keep moving forward and all the fruit. Yeah. Yeah. Cogwheel by log. Especially with Twitter's new focus on video. Absolutely. Yeah. I dropped that edited clip yesterday on Twitter. How did it do? Let's see. Did pretty good. 567 views. I wish I would have upgraded my personal account to Twitter Blue. I upgraded Maximus, and so I can post longer videos. That I think when you're Twitter Blue, they're actually higher quality too. Maybe I'll just keep sharing them there. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. Maybe an OnlyFans and Shill Hex. Yeah, I think honestly, somebody needs to launch an OnlyFans on Pulse Chain because that would crush. Like the amount of simps on Twitter, on CT is insane. So that would be a moneymaker, cash cow. But I do want to get on TikTok more. That's a whole other ball game that I need to figure out. I think I just need to get in a flow of like cutting clips and republishing them. But maybe that's in line with like the 10-minute videos we do and cutting those up on YouTube. I mean, what I really want to do is I think you have to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, and then you can live stream, and would love to start live streaming on TikTok because I think that that's like what they're pushing pretty hard is live streaming. People get a lot of views. Twitter's blasting with videos. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you also have some interviews, Gold Key. Yeah, would love to. We definitely were doing more interviews around launches, but yeah, honestly, I think I want to actually have more people on to interview. Like, I think one of my core, like for myself, one of my core value props is the questions I ask. I feel like that's kind of my brand with my own personal Twitter is I just ask a lot of questions and would love to have people on to just interview them and learn more about people. And I don't know if that's what you meant, if I should do interviews or interview people, but I think both would be really good. I think it was MacD on 2 week looks nice. Not 100% sure. Don't have access to my account at the moment. Let's check it out. Did you say 2 week chart? On the 2 weeks? Maybe you meant week chart. Let's clear these. Yeah, no, it looks like we got a cross, another cross. Will we see another cross soon? I don't know. We need more traders in Hex. No, just kidding. It's a bear market. The viewers just aren't there as in a bull. Very true. I feel like, to be honest, I think it's a combination of holidays, but Hex Twitter and just crypto Twitter in general has been so dead. Like, I feel like a lot of people take a break at the end of the year, which is good. I think there's a lot of better things to do in life than to be constantly, consumed with crypto in general, but Twitter as well. But yeah, I mean, when the bull market hits, that would be that'll be a fun time. It's always a fun time. People come out of the woodworks. Was just watching yesterday's video. Awesome, man. Hopefully it was helpful. When I was editing, I was like cutting out so much. I was rambling a little bit, saying a lot of ums. So I definitely want to get better. So I'm working on it. Would you interview Jack Levin? Probably not. I feel like we're kind of we're in different lanes right now. Didn't really love the way he kind of broke from our community. Kind of went at Richard Hart. So probably wouldn't. But I met Jack in Vegas, and we had a good conversation. And this was at the PulseCon. And I had read his white paper before. I actually brought up the kind of the hyperinflationary aspect of his system. And, I think he's a good dude, but like I do feel like he kind of crossed the line a few times. And so we're just kind of in a different lane now. Use AI to cut clips. I did find actually a really cool tool for that. That I would love to use. That actually, I don't know if it's AI, but basically you can download, or it'll analyze your video, turn it into text, and then you can edit your video by editing the text, and it'll like cut the clip. But yeah, I'm sure there's an AI tool that does that as well. That'd be really awesome. Got to add in the 2-week. Oh yeah, you're right. The red bars are closing in. Yeah, we'll see what happens. CL says, I see a bull flag. Yeah, the chart right now. The biggest bull flag ever. No, dude, screw log, dude. Max Payne. That's so brutal. Yeah, I mean, I think Hex is just, someone had mentioned before, just in regards to like the macro environment, I do think Hex is very much subject to what's going on a macro level. That I think it's like once the Fed starts printing again, we'll be in business. That's what's so funny is like all of crypto talks shit on the Fed, and we're all just like subject to them printing money. we're all just like, please print more to pump our bags. Okay, I understand. I thought it would be maybe bring Hex and Zen community together in case of education are not that far away. In the case of education, not that far away. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's I feel like he's kind of for how that asset is performing and how he's acting towards Richard Hart, like he's better than him, and better than Hex, and like I don't know, man. I'm sure there'll be some crossover, but there was definitely just a falling out, right? Like of our communities, and I don't know. I think it is what it is, kind of thing. But I don't know. I also feel like there's a lot of people in our community that aren't really in our community, but they're trying to like utilize Zen to like break up the Hex community. I don't know. There's just a lot around it. Yeah, you should cross market advertise. For me personally, I'm thinking like crypto itself is such a small market already. It's like all of crypto is very niche, and I personally think like there's a lot more opportunity on bringing new people into crypto than trying to convince other communities, other people in crypto to come to Hex, because people are already on a team when they come into crypto. You know, there are people that like hold a bunch of different assets and you know, aren't as tied to a single asset. But for majority of people, like you talk to XRP people, they love XRP and they don't want to hear anything you're talking about. You talk to Bitcoin people, they're in Bitcoin, they don't want to hear anything from anyone else. And to be honest, like when I hop in the Zen community, like, or when I did in the past, like they were just shitting on Hexkins, like pretty directly, like both on Richard Hart and just Hexkins in general, and just like so like why would I want to spend time trying to like bridge that gap? And they're kind of are like the people that are in Zen, you know, they really just want people to go from Hex to Zen, and I get that. Like it's crypto, it is what it is. It's tribalistic. So I don't know. I would love to see Hex and Zen overtaking everything else. Get Hex OG interviews. That'd be cool. Yeah, I've met almost all Hex OGs from different conferences and streams. So would love to learn, you know, from them and have them on. That'd be cool. Frenchie, how's it going? Great stream, live stream yesterday. Watched it twice back to back. Awesome, dude. I hope you got some value from it. I thought that Jack wanted to talk with best of best in crypto. He could have gone to any other community, but he chose us, the Hexkins. I don't think he wanted to harm us. I think I don't know, man. I don't want to like, I'm not trying to like speak bad against Jack or anything like that, but I think Jack saw one of the most valuable things about the Hex community is our engagement level, and we support new people in our community. And, you know, for Jack to come into our community how he did, he obviously saw the engagement level that he got with our community, still utilize it today with some of the streamers that have kind of like, if you see why I'm a little defensive of Hex, like we've lost some streamers that have just become like, well, I don't even know what you call them, just like Zen people that have kind of just switched teams, and that's their main focus now. And it's like more power to them. But I want to support people that support Hex, and you know, I don't know. I didn't really appreciate like the second Zen launched. It was just kind of like shit on Richard, and but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's honestly not that serious. It's like we're all playing games. But Dipkesh said, talk about the psychology of a person who bought the top because a hex went up 10,000x sales pitch. How do we help those people, or is it a necessary lesson? That's a really good video idea. Yeah, I mean, I think every bull market is going to bring in a certain cohort of people, which I feel like is most people. Like, my perspective of crypto changed when I realized like the upside potential. And I think like for me, this is kind of separate from what you're talking about, but it's like I remember asking like, what's the best way to market hex? And people are like, green candles, green candles. And it's like that type of mentality where you're dependent on like price to drive marketing. Like, while it is the easiest and probably the most effective, it's like those people that are chasing that aren't like the same as the people that you bring in during a bear market that like really have to learn. Like, we talk about delayed gratification. It's like the people that learn that in the bear market and buy the bottom, I feel like one are a different cohort of people than the people that like come in to try to get in on the massive gains. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, while it's easier to onboard during that bull run, those people aren't going to see as big of gains as the people that bought the bottom. And I do feel like the sales pitch of price appreciation, it could definitely use some evolution. I think another evolution is like the passive income, which I've used to onboard people. But like, if we instill, utilizing hex as passive income, like, what does that mean? That means people utilizing hex short term to sell in order to make income, in order to make money. And it's a valid strategy, but it's like that versus like a longer term outlook on hex, utilizing it more as like retirement versus income, I think is not only more positive for hex, but it also or not only more positive for people to experience better gains in the future, but also better for hex because it's not people constantly dumping. I want coexistence, not this or that. Yeah, I don't know. I think there can be levels to it. Like, I think this utopian idea that every crypto community is like somehow going to just get along and coexist is a little naive, because it is like, we're in a free market and it is competition. Everything is competitive. And like, while I agree that there is a level of like a scarcity mindset that can be negative, but I do think it's like, you have to be realistic that like in a free market, like where money goes, that is going to increase the price. And so yeah, I don't know. I think this must be experienced. Hard to learn a situation like that. Feeling the pain and the greed is necessary. Yeah, greed. It's brutal, but that's the market. That's why there are OGs and veterans and wrecked people which burn themselves and maybe never come back. Very true. Very, very true. Yeah, I think some of the strongest people in crypto are the people that like really got wrecked. Like, to have been wrecked at least once, just to feel that and be like, okay, that sucked. But like, there's also, crypto is old enough now where you can learn from other people's mistakes and not make them yourselves. And it sucks because it's like, I've only been wrecked one time on a meme coin that I overinvested in and lost it. And it took, that was the only experience of that. I was like, yep, I'm not going to touch that anymore. And, I think for a lot of Hexkins, it's like a lot of people have had that experience where maybe they got wrecked once, maybe they got wrecked more than once, and then they found Hex and it really, changed their worldview on crypto. And it's kind of like a safe haven that's separate from the rest of crypto. Although it's still a risk on asset, there's a lot more behind it with the community, with the performance, like, the upside performance already, the uptime of the product. And so a lot of people are very passionate about sharing what they know and bringing people bringing people to the light with Hex and trying to save people from getting wrecked like they have themselves. It's like, I don't know, it can be frustrating, I think, for a lot of people because you can't save everyone. And some people just have to learn on their own, and that's fine. But it's also, if you know a better solution than what people are talking about, I feel like it's a disservice not to passionately tell people about it and fight for it and fight for what you believe. Every asset relies on the greater fool theory. OC, it's very competitive, but do we have to go with only one sort of crypto? I mean, we Hexkins use ETH and prefer it to BTC. There's a level of nuance. Always, yeah, there's always a level of nuance. I think for me, I'm most defensive of Hex when it comes to directly competing products. I don't think there is anywhere close to as good of a yield bearing product with an inflationary system than Hex. I think it's a beautiful system, and I've yet to see anything on its level. So I'm most Hex Maxi when it comes to competing products. And but at the same time, there are things that I don't use that have utility, Aave and some other great DeFi products out there that don't compete, but obviously offer value to people. So I respect that, and I don't talk shit about those. But yeah, I mean, with staking coins, I will die on the Hex hill for that, for sure. But I will also support products that support Hex too. What we've launched, I feel comfortable promoting it because I think it supports Hex, and it's locked up over a billion Hex for a long time. It's onboarded a lot of new people. A lot of people in our Telegram through these launches were learning about what a T-share was, what Hex was, how staking works. That was awesome as an onboarding tool to teach people about Hex. I also support Keydron and Icosa because I think they support Hex. They encourage people to stake Hex. Although them encouraging people to stake Hex isn't necessarily for the Hex. It's kind of for something else, but it still is net positive for the ecosystem. There's on-ramps coming out, on-ramps and off-ramps coming out built by people that are want to support Hex. So I will support those things. I'm also a little hesitant to support things that aren't launched. Just because I think of everyone that everyone that I tell about crypto or something new, I think of as like a family member. Like, would I tell my mom about this? And so I mainly stick to Hex, honestly. Being 100% maximalist of a single thing isn't healthy, in my opinion, and many hexens suffer from having fear that if they admit something different from Hex is also very good, they could be attacked. I disagree. I think, especially with Hex, like Hex is one of, I don't know, 3 assets that's done a 10,000x, and they were the most maximalist because they had to be in that first 2 years, where they literally had to fight for Hex to survive. So people that say like Maximus is bad, like the best performing asset ever had the strongest Maximus and still does. And I think people that didn't experience that gain are now trying to tell those people that did experience the gains, like, no, this is better. It's like, maybe not, I think there is power in believing in something and having a shared goal. And especially when it comes to competing products, like I think it's healthy for people to fight for Hex, and we need that. We don't have to be kumbaya all the time. And Hexkins made Uniswap popular and benefited hard from airdrop 400% Uni. Yeah, 100%. Like Uniswap is a tool, like I said, that supports Hex. So, I think it deserves support from Hexkins if it supports Hex. That just makes sense. Crypto Cliff said, please change subject already. Why do you think SEC letters came at this time? Markets down Hex 94%. Some speculate 0.003 if BTC 10K. I think the SEC letters were from someone reporting something to the SEC. Probably someone that's down bad, or someone that got kicked out of our community and felt hurt and wanted to hurt the people in our community. The list was like pretty specific. I don't think someone at the SEC is really spending that time on Twitter putting that list together. So I definitely think it was a complaint and they're investigating it, but I don't, from what I've heard, I'm not worried about it at all. I think it's a pretty, soft investigation, but we'll see. And I think, worst case scenario is like maybe Richard Hart gets fined, and we move on. But I don't think it's like, what are you going to do to stop Hex? You can't. So I have the feeling that Jack wanted to help Hex to be more scarce. Like you need to burn Hex to be able to mint Zen. In respect of the first principles that Hex and Richard brought as a new standard. I mean, dude, that doesn't make sense. He wanted to help Hex be more scarce. You don't need Hex to be able to mint Zen. I think Jack had this altruistic vision of a crypto that he could launch. He saw opportunity within our community and he took it. And it's like, it is what it is. Like, I've moved on. Honestly, I don't think about Zen at all. I am focused on Hex. And so like, I don't talk shit about Zen at all. Like, I think the system is hyperinflationary now. Who knows? Like this 8-year strategy thing. I think people are making some small gains with minting and selling. And maybe at some point there's a tipping point where like it isn't hyperinflationary and it has good distribution and can turn around. So like I'm not here to like shit on Zen or Jack. I have my own like feelings about him. But like best of luck to the people that hold it and utilize it. And yeah, I don't know. But also the thing about the second part about in respect to the first principles that Hex and Richard brought as the new standard, I personally feel like Jack kind of stole that whole ethos of this first principles of crypto, and like the thing about like just around the OA and him not owning any, Yeah, I think that was intentional to kind of pit his community against Richard Hart and Hex, and that like his is superior because he didn't have a pre-mine. But Jack knew about the bot problem. I brought it up to him in Vegas, and I could almost guarantee you that he utilized those bots on his own product. And anyways, you're pulling me into like this shit around Zen, and I really don't care that much, but I just had this feeling we could have kind of worked together. A good dude is now not on your team, but against us. Okay, I understand you somehow. Just wanted to think about possibilities. Peace. Have a good one, man. I don't think Jack's intention was ever to team up with us. He knew how he was pitting himself against this community and against Richard Hart, and I think he feels superior. So he can have that. He can have the people that have kind of switched teams. But I'm a Hexkin, and I'm going to support Hex. I'm going to support Richard Hart, and I'm going to support this community, and I'm going to do everything in my power to, no expectations from other people. I'm going to do what I can to help Hex succeed. And people that get in the way of that, like it is what it is. Who's Jack and what is Zen? Just another crypto that got launched kind of within our community, and let's check it out. I haven't looked at this chart in a while. I'm not going to show that chart. Yeah. That's the same goal. I respect that. Thanks, man. Hope you have a good one. I don't even know how we got pulled into that conversation. But yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm preparing for the next bull run, because I truly think that Hex is going to outperform everything else, and just like it did the first round. So my complete strategy is accumulating Hex, accumulating T-shares as much as I can in this bear market to prepare. I feel like that's the winning strategy. Let me see if Dipcatcher wants to hop on real quick. What are your guys' goals for this year? Damn, I just realized this song has been playing this whole time. Driving me crazy. All right, guys. Well, I'm coming up on an hour and 47 minutes. I think I'm going to drop soon to get some dinner. Starving Marvin. T Squared said, reach my peak fitness so I can smash a full ski season 23, 24. Been a dream of mine to do heli skiing. Dude, me too. Me too, man. I've yet to go. I've always wanted to go to Alaska. And yeah, that's an awesome goal, dude. I just had a buddy go, and he said it's a blast. Hex Luther just got home, saw you live, and you're leaving. Guess reply. Good to see you, man. Happy New Year. It's been a minute. We should stream soon or something. So what do you think about liquidity for perps on Pulse? I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be fun to watch. Like, you know, Maximus is kind of one of the few products you could consider. I don't know. I wouldn't consider it a Pulse Chain project, but it's like it's definitely in the Pulse Chain ecosystem being launched. And just to be able to watch how they will perform on each chain because they're copied at the same time will be really fun to watch. It's going to be crazy to watch. Like, I feel like a lot of people are going to dump their free hex for Pulse and Pulse X, which if they do that, could, you know, just with Hart's Law, create some crazy buy opportunities in the perps. But yeah, and I also just like how these liquidity pools are going to be formed. It's going to be fun to watch, man. It's going to be crazy. I hope CZ will unrank Hex 201 this year. That'd be cool. Wonder if that would, like, how that would impact Hex growth. One, hopefully shave the pulse beard. Dude, I feel you, man. I grew it out. And like it just got to be so much work. I couldn't do it anymore. Thanks, you too. Nice eyes. Thanks, man. Thanks, D-Nut. All right, guys. I'm going to hop off. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to keep doing these streams. Maybe start putting out some shorter form, like edited videos just around good topics. If you have anything you want me to create a video on, leave a comment on this video. Also hit the like button if you haven't already. But yeah, leave a comment on this video. Always looking for new ideas. And I will talk to you guys soon.